What's up, guys? FuryTV here, and we are back with another episode of Poker Hands. Today, we're going to be taking a look over the amazing run of Maria Lampropoulos in the 2017 Millions main event in the UK, where she ended up taking home $1.2 million. Before getting into it, I would like to ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy our videos, as your support is allowing us to continue posting videos on a daily basis. Let's jump straight into the action.
$5 million prize pool with $1 million for first, but the opportunity is out there for those that want to reach out, try to grab the brass ring, go for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And to me, that's what it's all about. Dreaming to make the big score, to put your life a little bit on easier street, and certainly opportunity is there.
Or to get gambling a bit bigger.
It is, but there's a little more. I was just reading that Katie Swift, apparently she qualified for this for 100 pounds or 120 pounds. And, I mean, it's not just the money. It's also the opportunity to show you can play. You know what I mean? She's someone, she's obviously been running around the local scene for a while. She got in here deep on the big stage, and she showed people her game, which is...
Yeah,
I mean, unbelievable.
There's a whole load of big game
class
players around here this weekend. You know, the structure is so fair. I don't see nobody going around complaining or making excuses. We got outplayed, got beat, and...
the beauty is everyone that watches live streams, everyone that watches the World Poker Tour, they're all sitting at home watching these big name players, and they're all saying, geez, I can play as good as that guy. I should be out there playing for $1 million.
Well,
and they're right.
Well, the answer is they're right some of the time.
Yeah. That's correct.
Not more than you think.
All right, nice flop for Maria here, top pair.
She just flatted the under the gun raise from Jacob.
Jacob now has the worst hand, obviously.
He's no stranger to that.
And I think...
God, he
slipped it.
Has he checked?
He's absolutely slipped it.
Well, I don't know why Maria's taking such a long time to bet here.
Is there any reason not to bet? I mean, she is a person who has checked back. She's got a pot control sort of thing, and she checks back a lot. But against two players, Mike?
Impossible to check here.
Right.
You just can't, any overcard just shut you down completely. You just can't check here.
Do you find that
what I really like about this girl is that, you know, they're playing for huge money. They've been playing for it for days. But she looks so composed, and she stops and she thinks about it. I mean, whether she's got a monster or a marginal hand, but she you know, she gives it a lot of thought, and she ain't going to go to this tournament making a mistake because she didn't consider all the possibilities, and that's great composure on the huge stage.
Well, there's always a big difference between the kind of people who take a lot of time and the people who give it a lot of thought. You know what I mean, Bar?
Yeah, yeah.
Here's a case. They both check to you. It's an automatic bet. I mean, what do you need to take time for? You just bet.
You're desperate for that shot clock, aren't you, Mike?
Oh, boy.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, I'm with Mike.
Don't get me started on that. The action.
Well, get him started on that.
But it is. I mean, it is, you know, the game, we can't be playing the game in 2054 the same way we were playing the game in 1954.
Some of us are.
Let me tell you, we just used the action clock at the WPT Tournament of Champions. Virtually at least 90% of the players loved it, absolutely loved it.
And the 10% that didn't love it, we don't need them there anyway.
No, exactly.
I mean, how much time do they think we have on this plan?
I would say 95%, honestly, rather than just 90. But
wow,
it just makes the game so much better.
Sorry, Matus check shoved here with the second pair. I mean, it's the kind of play I think we were advocating him to make a little earlier, Mike, but it's the first time he's done it. And now that he's done it, he's totally wrong. I mean, maybe not wrong.
Well, you can't blame him.
No.
But he didn't raise pre-flop.
No.
So you're not going to put him on an overpair in that spot at all. The only thing you might be scared of is he flopped 3 5s.
Well, especially with his stack size.
But other than that, there's not a hand you're going to fear in this spot.
Why did he decide to do it now? I don't really. Did he decide maybe that there's not a lot of 10s in Maria's range?
Well, maybe because we were talking about she stalled so long. Maybe he thought she's just making a move, so he decided to make a move on top of her.
Well, she's well capable of folding this.
I guess she could be vulnerable to King 10.
You're talking about another $100 million here.
And she will be aware. Oh, she's just called him.
She has called him.
Well, she has to call. Well, she's wincing like he's got the best hand.
She really is.
Maybe she's wincing because he's got outs. Maybe she didn't want him to have any outs. You know, who knows? Well, now
she's got her wish.
He has no outs.
golden chip, and very soon no scarf. And Maria has won the pot, but let's remember that Jacob has just won 100,000 pounds.
Well,
on top of what he wins here at this table. Well, we were talking about it should have been an instant bet for her because she took so long to bet those 2 tens. He didn't think she had it, and he committed all his chips, and it cost him. But
Jacob Mulhern is he
the 5th member of the Hendon mob.
John Large Garbage.
Maria's asking for a chip count off of Jeremy. Fair enough. And this is before she decides what to do with the raggedy old ace in a small blind. If he's got, and he does, have about 19 big blinds right now, or 18. Yeah, I guess it's a bit ropey because she's thinking if she raises and he shoves, she kind of has to call but doesn't really want to play that big a pot. I mean, so she's decided to limp it.
Remember, we were talking about Ireland's Colette Doherty earlier, saying she come up with the one, don't feed the bears.
Did she limp the shove here? I mean, she very well may have it. Unfortunately, got to make a lot of marginal decisions in this game.
I'm betting she's going to fold.
On past form, yeah, but I mean, she was under-repping her hand really in the blinds, but it's the weakest ace.
I kind of like what you're saying there, Bart. Yeah. I think that she probably did limp to fold. She didn't want to raise fold, so she decided to limp. Is this one of those things where one of the other reasons she doesn't want to do it up is because it's given Jacob so much equity by her playing a big pot with Jeremy?
Yeah, and they want to take cheap flops against Jeremy and for one of them to take him out, don't they? They don't want to be doubling him up.
Gus Hansen had a big thing on that in his book from years ago about the dynamics three-handed. Well, it was quite a long book, to be fair. I still think it was I think it was one of the greatest poker books ever written.
Is that the one about
every hand revealed when he did the whole?
Yeah.
I think it was. To me, it's.
I read it in one sitting.
It's a fantastic idea as well, isn't it? It hadn't been done before.
Yeah, but it's fantastic. He won the tournament. I mean, could you imagine?
Well, how many times did he go through the process before? Was it the first time he went through the process?
It was. He's Gus Hansen,
That's pretty incredible, isn't it?
I can think of a lot of players who could have started writing that book and were going to publish it when they won a tournament. One guy started. One guy started with a quill. I guess nobody knows what a quill is anymore.
Simon changed the name.
Well, what do you think Jeremy's going to make of the fact that she took so long to call?
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy about this call that she made it.
Not an awful lot, because she's been taking very, very long about everything.
With all decisions, yeah. That's a fair comment.
She's been taking a long time about this. Jeremy finds that.
He's bet pretty small. She's really going to be hoping he checks behind on the turn here.
It's so admirable that she does look like she has a very good plan all the time.
That was the plan.
Yeah, that is the plan. That's plan A.
Now, if you can check again, he'll think this is a good card to represent, won't he?
Yeah.
And he does have the gut shot as backup.
Could be check into 10.
It can't be a check. I mean,
no, that's just.
She doesn't have an ace in a million years here.
Oh wow! Maybe if he didn't have the gut shot as backup, he would have put a bet again. Then, well, there aren't that many fives out there. She's got to either let him hang himself.
What do you mean there aren't that many fives out there? Four of them.
I honestly don't believe he checked her. Explain that to me. I mean, it looked for all the world like he had an ace and she could never have one.
Yes, it did. But if
I actually think he may have made a small mistake there in that he acted a little bit too fast.
She can't have an ace here. He knows that. She doesn't have an ace. She doesn't even have an ace, even though we see it. She does not have one.
On past form, she checks here, but it's what she puts him on. If she thinks that he's got a hand she can extract value from, once he's checked on the turn, it feels like he's got showdown value, and she needs to make a bet. That's how I would feel if I was her. She needs to make like a half-pot bet. She never does anything in a hurry, and that makes her very, very balanced. You can't read anything about strength or weakness into that. She's trying to extract some value from any one pair hand.
Wow.
or even, you know.
I wonder, can she be inducing a raise here?
Definitely part of her thinking, Parg.
She has bet very small, actually, hasn't she? She's bet very small.
So I suppose the chances of Jeremy having a 5 are minuscule.
I think she's pretty much discounting that. I think she's discounting the idea of her being behind.
I was thinking about if he shoved.
Well, yeah, okay.
Would she discount it?
Well, it's also, you know, she gives herself the option to get away if he does shove and she decides she's behind. I mean, this is the way she always plays. She gives herself so many options all the way down to the river.
Wow!
And he's done it. He's pulled the trigger.
Go on, my man. Go on, my man.
Yeah, but it's not enough. It's not enough to make her fold. You know, she's going to think, because she always does.
Well, it might be enough to make her fold, but you got to give the guy credit. It's all he had. I mean, what do you want him to do? Buy in again?
She saw it as a defensive bet. You know?
I think it was somebody who said this is the greatest thing about poker is if you always give people the rope to hang themselves with. It's 65, 70 million to her, 80 million to her.
I mean, it looks like a very, very strong bet by him, because he can't possibly be expecting a fold if she's got any kind of hand. I'm not sure about this bet by him because of the stack sizes.
I love it. I mean,
well, it's making her think. I mean, if anybody thinks this long when you make a bluff, you know it can't be that terrible, right? Because you made them think. It's when you get snapped off that it's embarrassing. But, I mean, how is she ever folding here? She's got aces up.
Well,
if she does call
with
here,
a few 100,000 on the line, she's quite entitled to have a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the third player she's done this to, basically. I mean, think about it. It's an incredible performance she's done here.
Yeah, maybe up until this moment she hasn't been sure how small the raise is, because she's just been thinking through the hand.
Well, it's not that small. I mean, Barney, if she calls and loses, okay, she is now third in chips.
Yeah.
Okay, if she calls,
is she?
Yeah, there's 254 in there, and it's about 85 to her. He's gonna have 320. She's gonna have 250.
She's got a call. If he shows her a 5, he shows her a 5.
If she calls and wins,
she's made the call. Good for her. Good for her. Wow. And we're now heads up.
I got news for you. This is an unbelievable performance. I mean, great stuff from Jeremy.
Yeah, it was a great effort. He would have got her off one pair, right?
I mean, you know,
she's been calling down with high card a lot, and been right when she's done it.
He might have finally figured out that she's done with folding rivers, which is pretty clever.
Well, now he knows that. It'd be interesting to see if he's just going to keep barreling or whether he's just happy to take a free card here and there.
Oh, well, I was going to say she looks like she's thinking about play. She must play back here, and play back reasonably big.
I don't know.
Unless she's thinking of trapping. It's one of those where
she's waited so long without 3-betting, it almost seems more, I don't know.
But she could catch a pretty disguised hand, and now she knows he's barreling a lot.
Yeah, I guess she knows that she's going to get him to lay down a lot of cards, hands that she's dominating. She does play back, but she's got herself into a sticky situation here.
Well, I think she's going to be check calling it down with the ace high as well.
Well, she's done it with king high and queen high so far. So
I've seen this before, and to be honest, I feel like this almost always plays out with Jacob winning. You know, you just heads up, you just cannot beat a trapper. It just don't work.
But she knows her ace is good a lot of the time, so fair play to her. This is the way she's playing.
Yeah, but if it's a guessing game, she's going to check, and it's tough, man.
No, it's not ideal, is it? It's not ideal. She's giving herself some very, very difficult decisions. But will Jacob continue? Past form says that he does. Maria's made it very complicated for herself, facing this and the river bet.
I mean, this reminds me a bit, to be honest. If you watch the heads up in the World Series main event this year, the gentleman who won, he was 10 times more aggressive, and it looked like he was always going to win. The other fellow was trying to trap him.
Yeah.
And honestly, never really got the chance.
We actually had that on in here, and it would have been a massive injustice if the other guy would have won for sure.
By the way, it makes more sense for her to play this way if she's prepared to make these calls that she's making here, because she's right. Well, she is right. You know, I know. I mean, You know, and how the hell does he bet again now? That's a blank on the river.
I think he's betting.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, he does have a king. You know,
I mean, the Barney.
He's
the
only
polarizing
going
stuff
to get us to pass exactly an ace, right?
The polarizing stuff he's done. Well, maybe. If he does bet, he has to bet pot size.
He could
really.
put her on a flush draw, busted flush draw here.
Yeah, but then he's hoping his king's good, right?
But he can't expect his king to be good here, so I think he has to bet this. So I think a bet of about 100,000.
He's got to bet big. He's
100 million will do.
Wow. Well, you know, she's chosen to play it a certain way, and
well, if she does find a call here,
it'll be very impressive. But
momentum will switch massively.
What was her plan on the turn? If she's not, I mean, it is a very big bet. She'll take her time. This is a this is a high stress.
See her
she can turn around the chip position with this call.
So maybe think, is he going to call? Is he going to bet a 2 or 4?
She's beating every bluff. And
she's going to be 4-1 chip disadvantage if she calls and loses here. It's nearly tournament over for her. You've never lost a chip lead of 4-1. No. We've done so many of those, but I remember that one clearly.
I think I aged about 5 years on that.
Meanwhile, Maria's facing her biggest and toughest decision of the whole tournament so far.
It's one of those, if you call and you're wrong, if you fold and you're wrong, it's not a disaster. But if you call here with ace high and you're wrong, and you're playing for $1 million, it's pretty painful.
She kind of looks like she's considering. I mean, you know, she's decided on the turn. She was still good.
What I admire about her is that she put herself in a position. She knew she was putting herself in a position to have to make this decision. And, I mean, right or wrong, she was willing. This is how she's gotten to this point. There's 3 guys who have made ridiculous bluffs against her.
The queen won't have changed whoever was in the lead in the pot. She's gone with reads a lot. And I think she's calling.
I think
she's calling.
I think she's calling.
Yeah, it really looks like it. She's thinking, how much difference does it make, to my situation if I lose these chips, compared to how it's going to turn the thing around if I win the pot.
She's calling. This is her tournament.
She's calling.
This is her tournament.
It's huge. Wow. I thought she'd given up.
Wow.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Nice goal.
Wow.
And
wow.
He's going to hate
ace high, baby. Beat that. Take that. Wow.
Ace high like a
boss. Man. I actually think she's missing a trick here. I think standing up and saying on your bike would totally, I mean, that would...
Showing your rear and giving it a slap.
On your bike.
Well, I don't think she needs to. Look at him. Look at how he now feels.
He'll be drained there. He's been sat there holding his breath for the last 10 minutes.
And that you would most likely to have had was a 10 queen or a queen jack.
Yeah, she's sitting up in her chair and she's feeling like she can really win this.
And the body language looks very good for her. You know, like we've been watching her for 2 days, being very deliberate about all the decisions. And
can she play back on this board?
I mean, who can watch this and say that poker is not sport? You know, you've got the switch.
A lot of people I can think of. Do you want me to start naming them? And how long have you got?
I don't know.
The master of answering the rhetorical question.
Who can say these are not 2 athletes in the prime of their...
Oh, don't get him started again, for God's sake.
In the prime of their careers.
She's changed up her game. She hasn't got a strong enough hand to cool down with. Oh, okay, it's a call. Wow.
Oh, my God.
Okay, well, how much better a card can she have hopes of seeing on the turn? Top pair now and the flush draw. Now she can go back into check call mode.
We'll see how quickly he checks here.
I mean, that was an out of position float with her. Don't make no mistake. She had nothing. She was planning something on the turn.
By the way, under the heading of Jacob...
That's all she could have been doing, Barney.
Yeah.
This takes heart.
Yeah, he doesn't switch off. I mean, I love the way he plays it.
It might not be hard. It might be stubbornness.
Their styles are so well set up for a great heads-up match because they've got opposite styles, haven't they? And a lot of it is card dependent, but now, I think she was planning to do a check raise on the turn. And now she can just call because she's hit kind of like the ultimate bingo card on the turn for her.
think from her point of view, if she goes for the check raise, she doesn't give him the opportunity to lose his entire stack on the river.
This is a give up. I say he gives up this time, because you know, she called on that 2-diamond board. You know, she called again on the turn when the diamond came. What does he think he's going to get her off on the river?
Look at the color of his ears right now, Barney. I think he's determined. He's committed to a strategy.
Well, for a start off, she could have a flush.
Yeah, but I actually I actually think he's
well,
kind
it fits the story.
I actually think it's very, very important to him to get a bluff.
Oh, he has to bet really big.
After getting a bluff called, I think there's something else at work here.
He's overbet the pot here. He's overbet the pot.
I think she's going to find this call quicker than the last one.
It's unbelievable if she does make this call and loses, how quick these people have switched without a cooler at all.
Is this a harder or easier decision than the ace high?
It's an easier one.
Yeah.
Because it's going to do her less damage if she's wrong. And
well, it's a huge bet, but just in terms of...
And the 10 doesn't look that scary. It doesn't really fit.
He would never have made this bet with hitting a 10 on the river, would he?
No.
I mean, it would be great if he could.
No, he'd have been delighted to hit the 10 and checked.
No, he probably would have valued it, but you know, he would have bet.
Well, okay.
You know what? If she found the call with the ace jack, I think she's finding this call too, isn't she?
Now I think she's folding. Now I've decided she's
because
folding.
she sat back in her chair.
I don't think.
Because she's only just got these chips.
It's because of the 7-8.
I think there's absolutely no chance she's folding here.
No, I think she's calling. The game just keeps on changing, and you keep seeing new things.
So
it looks the same to me. That may explain quite a lot.
Here she is showing something that has not been shown much before. I hope whether she calls or folds, I hope she doesn't do it. Okay, 1 minute. So I don't know what Jacob had for lunch, but we are going to find out at some point.
Who's put her on the clock?
It can only be that Jacob's put her on the clock, and.
How did he do that without
That's what I want to know.
Does he wiggle his ears to
No, I mean, you know, weird things happen sometimes. I mean, people get
well played.
Putting on the clock didn't help. He didn't think that she had the hand that strong. He thought he was getting her off ace high, and that's a great call.
Look at that crowd out here.
This is a great match.
This is a great match.
This is a fantastic match. You know, it really, really is.
Well, if they ever ask me what was Barney Boatman's greatest achievement, I would say it has to be. Do you remember in the late night poker when Barney was doing previews on the Hendon Mob?
That's true.
And he had one-liners for you know, all the guys who'd become great household names. Yeah. I mean, every one of them was a classic. I mean, I used to love it. But we were talking about this in some commentary on the Irish Open recently, or was it in Killarney?
What was your favourite one before we get into what may very well be the last hand of the tournament?
Mike McGee. He called him Mystic Mike. He can put you on a hand before you look at your cards.
And if you knew Mike McGee, that is the greatest description of the man.
Closely followed.
We might have to save the rest of them for the next stream. This looks like a bit of a caller, doesn't it?
Now,
with Jackarama, the crew Alexander of poker can't string two passes together.
Oh, I'd forgotten that one. Yeah, that was all right. There you go. Well.
Wow, and here's the
she's got to fade, mostly just fade an ace for $1 million here.
For £1 million. Now, obviously, Maria's in the catbird seat. If she does lose this, she's the favorite, but she'll still have a 400,000 or so chip stack. It's all in for Jacob. Needing that ace from space.
God, after all the little games of chess that we're playing,
it always winds up, doesn't it, with a big caller, or very, very often. Two huge hands here.
All you can get is a swing and miss.
Well, she's a big favourite now.
Tell you what, these are two total warriors of the felt. I love the way Jacob has played today. Yeah. Absolutely adored. But Maria has been.
I like the way he played yesterday.
Yeah, that's true too.
But it ain't over yet.
close your eyes.
This is such a big moment for both of them, especially for her, because.
And they both got a big rail here, so closing your eyes doesn't help, because when you hear the big roar, you don't know who's doing it. I mean, this is for £1 million.
There it is, £1 million. And doesn't she deserve it? I mean, she's played extraordinarily well.
And honestly, the heads up was fantastic. The final table was fantastic. I mean, a great tournament has had a very, very worthy winner and
a very worthy runner-up.
Very worthy runner-up.
They both played great, but she's made so many really tough decisions. She made it so complicated for herself, and she was up to the task every time.
Yeah.
And it was, she trapped.
Look at that smile.
Yeah. I mean, think back what she started to Neil when he had the Kings, and Jeremy who bluffed.
I hope that's her boyfriend.
Great. But yeah, and obviously, as you said, full credit to Jacob, who I mean, the man has some serious game, serious game,
really
and he
does.
was everybody's worry for the last 2 days.
And what a great result for this great tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 locals playing heads up for $1 million in Nottingham. I mean, if you'd asked me a few years ago, I mean, if you turned Nottingham upside down, would you find $1 million? I'd have taken the unders.
And think back, it seems like a long time ago, but think back to the lineup at this final table. What a great lineup it was. Really, really strong final. This format has allowed really good players to come through, and it's allowed really good play at the final. It's been a real pleasure to watch. And I'll tell you what, this time next year, the only difference is going to be that it's, the first prize is probably going to be bigger. The prize pool is certainly going to be bigger.
Well, I can guarantee you the guarantee won't be small.
As Party Poker Live President John Duthie and Party Poker Ambassador and the King of Poker, Mike Sexton, I think, to make the presentation.
Well, I'm Mike Sexton on behalf of everyone at Party Poker, and on behalf of the Party Poker Live Tour and President John Duthie. We want to thank everyone for participating in this fantastic championship event, and certainly we now want to talk and congratulate our champion, Maria Lampropoulos from Argentina. Maria, what a fantastic performance you put on today at this final table. You made some fantastic calls for a lot of money. You made some bluffs. You played perfectly. Were you pretty confident coming to this final table that you had a shot to do this?
I can't believe it. It's the best moment of my life. I like, wow. I don't know what to say.
The best moment of your life? Well, that's for sure. You've won £1 million. And not only that, you have created an inspiration for millions of women around the world to now know that they can come out and play poker with the guys and take down the big tournaments.
Yes, women, congrats me. Everybody's so happy with this.
Well, once again, we want to congratulate you for a great performance, for winning the first Millions Championship and £1 million here at Dusk Till Dawn. One more time, let's hear it for our champion, Maria Lampropoulos.
If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for the best poker videos on YouTube. Make sure to also check out our previous video if you missed it, and let us know in the comments below what you would like to see on the next FuryTV.
Danny looks at queens.